That one's almost working. Okay, getting that one. Let me think. Okay, that one's happening. It's almost happening. Sorry. I've been obsessed with this for about the last week since I got home, or since we finished up. I'll tell you more about this. I gotta try one more. Let's see the last one. Wrong key. Okay, more on that later. Never mind. That's just what I've been working on. I got to tell you about, it is May 21st. Important day in family history. This is my mom's birthday, and she's been gone for about 4 years now, but still think about her a lot. So she had a lot to do with encouraging me to play the guitar when I was young. When I was older, she encouraged me to, not play the guitar, to get a real job, become an engineer like your dad. But anyway, Dad was a salesman, though, too. And I think I ended up with the right combination of Dad's engineering and sales personality. Who knows? Anyway, let's see. It is, like I just said, May 21st. Reminded me that I had a really fun date with my mom on May 21st, 1979. Very unusual day in San Francisco history because for her birthday, I took her out to see Peter Schickele, PBQ Bach, at the San Francisco, the Opera House. Fabulous show, really enjoyed it. And then we came out and there were cop cars on fire. There was a riot going on that day, and I'm sure somebody can figure out what happened in San Francisco on May 21st, 1979. But it took us a little while to get to our car, which was in an underground parking lot under the Civic Center. But it was kind of a traumatic day. But the Peter Schickele show was fabulous. Let's see. What has been going on? I'm sitting here with a thumb pick for a reason I will maybe get back to later, because there are only there are two songs I play with a thumb pick, and one I have not really dusted off in about 8 or 9 years. The other I play occasionally. The other one is this. Let me think. No, let me tell you a little bit about Phoenix first, because something happened. I was in Phoenix last week doing a Guitar League show. Not show, but it was a workshop. 25 guitar players showed up, and I hope they all got something out of it. It was a blast. We have video that will be, once I get settled back down to earth, we'll be going through that. And I ended up playing a bunch of things. I just started talking and talked for like an hour, but played bits and pieces of a lot of songs that were kind of important to me. And for some reason, this one came up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fake my way through this. I don't usually do this with a pick, but I sometimes do it in a medley with the other one. It's my surf medley. I don't think I ever did a lesson on this part. See if I get that one note this time. Anyway, that's weird. Luckily, that came back. The other one that I sometimes play with a thumb pick is the other surf tune. And I already do have a lesson on this, I think. If I get the right fingers, I don't think I'm going to be able to fake my way through this. Focus. Try it again. That's better. Anyway, So that's the hint for today. Wait, there will be a little bit more later when I start talking about next week. But so I've been brushing up on playing with a thumb pick. Now, this one doesn't really fit my thumb very well. It like it's sore now from me. But I have one that I really love, and it's in the other studio because that's where I've been working on most of this. Anyway, I want to put in another plug for the Guitar League. There are chapters all around the country, and Bart, I want to thank Bart in Phoenix for treating me to a great time, taking my mind off what I had to do later on in the week, which was really cool too, because we had of course, a big family event. My daughter Rebecca got married, Mrs. Frausto now, and anyway, we had a blast, and I got my Universal Life Church ministry declared them married. Very cool. So it just turned out to be fabulous, except for the only thing that could have been better was the weather. Believe it or not, it was in a spot that gets really hot and it was really cold. It was 60 degrees and windy, but much better for people like me than to be 100 degrees and and cooking. I did have spare clothes in case it got really bad. Anyway, let's see. What do I want to talk about? Two things. This week only got one lesson out, and I hope you like it. I mean, it's a cool tune. I hope people have been trying some of my Chris Christopherson songs. That might be it on Chris for a little while. Although there are still another couple of songs of his that I've been thinking about doing. But most of them, if you should be able to figure out most of them if you're interested in playing them. They're pretty straightforward country songs, 1-4-5. Sometimes they have a secondary dominant, and sometimes they have a minor, like a 6 chord, just the same format as like Take Me Home Country Roads. So, okay, that's it. Now, another thing that crossed my mind that was pretty interesting this week was actually just this morning. My friend Bruce called and said, and we might have to get a video of he and I talking about this. Him and I. Where's my grammar checker? Anyway, and he just had an adjustment done to his guitar, and he got what they call a compensated nut. I had never heard of this. I've heard of compensated saddles, but it seems like this is a happening thing in the modern world of guitar technology. So he got a brand called Irvana. But it was kind of a prefab thing, and it was for his OM 18, a Martin mahogany OM guitar. Anyway, and it ended up solving intonation problems, but it created other problems. So where I'm going with this is, if anybody has any info or has tried any of these compensated nuts. Now, what that really means is that the strings don't all leave the nut at the same spot, which is how a saddle works. So you can make a string longer or shorter by having the groove cut back a little bit or cut forward a little bit, so that you can absolutely control the length of the string by the width of the nut, which gives you a little more to play with than the width of the saddle. So I might put a separate post up on the forum, but if anybody has any experience with these, that would be really curious to know, because Bruce loved what he got back at first. He played a low E, checked the tuning, and played the low G, and they matched. And many times that G is a little sharp, especially on the 6th string. So, compensated nuts. If anybody knows anything about them, keep me posted. I think that is most of what's going on. Let's see. What else have I been playing lately? For the Phoenix thing, I resurrected a lot of songs that I haven't gotten to lessons for. I had a bunch of them ready. I never got to this one. But I just played this last night. Reminded me of how fun it is to play. Anyway, so another one that's been kind of on the drawing board for a long time, along with this, never get that right the first time I play it in like a week. I was so totally lucky. Stream of consciousness. My fingers didn't let my brain interfere. Sorry I had to stop. So 2 of my really percussive songs are still happening. I'm still working on the other one that I promised a couple of weeks ago. So we're getting there. We're getting to I'm the Light of This World. We're getting to Last Train Home. We're getting to Whitebird. So these are now like at the top of my list of songs to do. But I do have a couple other less complicated ones to throw in the meantime. But coming up next week, after 12 years of neglecting this, it's going to happen. I've got 11 pages of music here. And want to thank Canal, I think his name was Gallagher, for putting together a 40-page treatise on this song. And really helping me, because for years I've been thinking, how the heck am I going to get a lesson on this? It's too complicated. He never plays it the same way twice. But I'm putting together my own version now. And wait, let me tell you first about what we have from Bob, because remember last a couple weeks ago we had his take on Closer to the Heart, and now we will have his solo version of it. So you Rush fans out there, actually you don't have to be a Rush fan to like this song. It's a great tune, and it's kind of like some other lessons I've done. Trilogy is one that comes to mind. Epitaph, kind of progressive rock sort of classics that sort of do lend themselves to being done on solo guitar once in a while. Doesn't necessarily mean they're easy. I was even playing Eye in the Sky the other day again, because that is really fun to play. Okay, so next week we have Bob's take on Closer to the Heart, and I want you to start working on something in order to be able to play this tune. This is going to come out, I have no idea how many parts it's going to be, but I'm ready to start shooting the first couple and breaking down this classic Steve Howe song. And it may be like 30 segments, and each segment is 4 measures, except some of those measures are fairly repetitive. But I do want to give you a hint of something to start working on, because if you can't play a bar chord out of the C family, you're not going to be able to play this song. Now, you don't have to necessarily do it with a full bar like I just did here. So what I just did was I put a bar at the 2nd fret and played C. It'd be like playing C, not using your 1st finger, but using your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 2nd finger on the C on the 2nd string, 3rd finger on the E on the 4th string, and 4th finger on the C on the 5th string. Still sounds like C. If I bar it up a whole step, it makes it D. Now, I don't really need a full bar for this chord unless I want the 3rd in the bass. So there really is not a time I have to do it that way. You could really get away with just a 3-string bar. I'm not sure that makes it easier. And the way Steve plays it is with no bar at all, just with those 4 notes, not playing the 1st string or the 6th string. So his ends up looking like this. Now, the first time it happens at the song, it's up at G, which would mean your little finger is on the 10th fret. So this would be a G chord, G chord out of the C family. That's the 2nd chord in the song. Now, the first one, you need a 4-string bar at the 7th fret, with an open A in the bass. We're not playing that. The bass notes are going to be 4 and 3, and a high D on the 10th fret of the 1st string. And that's it. Hit the 4th string, hit the 1st and 2nd, and then hit the 3rd string. And now go to your C shape and hit the 5th string, the 2nd and 3rd, and the 4th string. Now, Steve, I don't think I can possibly do this, but work on, in other words, the way Steve really plays it, with a pick. Maybe. Okay. Anyway, that's it. We're working on Steve Howe's song, Clap, written in 1971, the day his son, or right around the time his son Dylan was born. And again, I'm going to break this out in who knows how many parts. But next week, you'll at least see this D chord at the 7th fret with A in the bass going to a G chord out of the C family. And I would recommend not, if you look at Steve's hand when he plays this, he does this. Goes to a whole 4-finger shape like that, where his first finger comes off of the bar that it just was on, and then goes just to the 3rd string, and then goes right back to the bar for the next chord. So, I would recommend leaving the bar where it is. Then just add the C shape. So work on that. There you go. There is your exercise for the week. You can even do it in half steps. Now each time on the first chord I'm grabbing the top 4 strings, and on the second chord, the C shape, I'm grabbing the middle 4. And one of those hot licks comes up in a minute. Let's see if I can nail it this time. Okay, that's it. I got to get back to practicing because I got to have that whole thing in good shape over the weekend to be able to start dripping out the parts to Steve Howe's classic clap. See you next week.